All my life, I've had a strange relationship with sleep. It's always been an ever-swinging pendulum of too much, too little, too much, too little. Well, you get the point. Some nights I would sleep 16 hours, and other nights I would sleep only 45 minutes. There's many scientific approaches that doctors suggest when you have insomnia. Having good sleep hygiene, having a nightly routine, write a to-do list before bed, trying to wake up only 30 minutes earlier every 3 to 4 days. Some of these things helped and some didn't. But for today, we're going to focus on that last one. So the theory is, if you move your wake-up time 30 minutes to an hour every 3 to 7 days, then eventually your body will get used to it, and waking up at 6 a.m. will be just as easy as waking up at 10 a.m. This never worked for me. I'd be doing good, waking up consistently at 9 a.m., and then I'd have a bout of bad insomnia and wake up at 12 p.m., and then I'd have to start completely from scratch. The main problem I had is that my body couldn't cope with a switch in time, or at least so many of them. I would be on the third switch, and my sleep schedule would be so off that I couldn't cope with a fourth. So what if I did just one switch? I got this idea while playing Animal Crossing in the middle of the night. I realized that if I set my switch to Hawaii's time zone, it was the perfect sleep-wake cycle for me. I can't afford a ticket to Hawaii, obviously, so what if I jet-lag myself without actually traveling? For the next 10 days, I'm going to try to wake up at 5 a.m. regardless of the time I went to sleep, in an attempt to fix my insomnia. Spoiler alert, this challenge wound up going way deeper and more emotional than I thought it would, so stay tuned for that. I actually did day 1 before I even realized I was doing this challenge. I was volunteering at church on Sunday, and that required me to be at church at 6 a.m. I think this first day was critical. It made me realize that I actually could wake up at 5 a.m. and still function, even though the prior night was a bad bout of insomnia where I went to bed at 5 a.m. It was a day that, due to my obligations, I had no choice but to jet lag myself, or else I would disappoint people and break a commitment that I made. Speaking of commitments, I realized that telling other people I was trying to wake up at 5 a.m. was the key. I would have a fear of disappointing people I cared about and a fear of breaking a commitment, not to mention that they were definitely going to ask me if I'd done it the next time they saw me. Here's where I realized that accountability is key, at least for me. This is where I started to feel sluggish. The previous day had felt so long that it felt like I had been up for multiple days in just one. This day I woke up at 6 a.m., and though it wasn't my initial goal of 5 a.m., it was still 6 hours earlier than some of my more shameful wake-up times. I still couldn't help but be disappointed. This day was really hard for many reasons, but especially because of my health. I was having another flare-up of my autoimmune disease, though I didn't know it yet, and as always, bad health and bad mental health go hand in hand. This is when I started to question if I even still wanted to do this challenge. I was consistently waking up at 7 instead of 5 or 6, which made me feel like a failure. It's ironic because if you had told me 2 weeks ago that I'd be consistently waking up at 7 a.m. in the morning instead of 12 p.m., I would be thrilled. But because of the expectations I had set for myself to wake up at 5, I was disappointed. I feel like I always have such high expectations for goals, and I foolishly think if I can just accomplish this one goal, I'll feel more fulfilled, I'll get more work done, I'll be happy. But time and time again, I reach one of two outcomes. I partially succeed in my goal, but it's not good enough because it's not perfect. Or I do succeed. I have dedication. I fulfill my goal to a T, but after a brief period of happiness, I'm still unfulfilled. I'm still unhappy. And I yet again find another goal that's the one thing I need in order to be fulfilled. Sorry for the sudden tone shift, but I've been kind of having some realizations lately. Also, sorry if you hear vacuuming noises below me. I live in an apartment, and there's nothing I can do about it. I've been thinking and analyzing on why I even wanted to do this in the first place. You could say that I just wanted to wake up earlier because it was the right and productive thing to do, but I feel like that explanation is kind of a cop-out. So, if we look a little deeper, it was mainly driven by 2 fears. The fear of not being successful and the fear of the passing of time. I thought the one thing standing in my way of a more successful life was me. If I just woke up earlier, ate better, exercised, and did all the productivity things I saw on social media, then I would be quote-unquote successful, and therefore fulfilled. Are these things good habits? Yes. But do they bring true happiness? No. I realized more and more that I was treating my body like a machine. I had routines that I had to complete to perfection or else I wouldn't be satisfied, and even if I did complete it perfectly, there was always improvements I could be making. I could do it better, or faster, or I could have outcomes closer to what I saw on social media. So where's the root of the issue? All of these things I was doing for one reason: the abstract idea of success. So how do you define success? I thought I wasn't successful because I wasn't making a lot of money. I thought I wasn't successful because I had health issues and disabilities that other people didn't, and I wasn't getting any better. I thought I wasn't successful because I couldn't run like a machine and never need a break. I thought I wasn't successful because I was comparing myself to others, and there always seemed to be someone better than me. I thought I wasn't successful because I couldn't wake up when I thought I was supposed to. I thought I wasn't successful because I'm 23, feel like I'm getting nowhere, and feel like I never will. So why, even though I'm trying to systematically fix these things, do I still not feel successful? Could it be that I was misdefining success the entire time? What if creating things that no one else but me could was enough? No matter who saw it or how they reacted to it. What if fulfilling the purpose that my creator made me for from the beginning was the very definition of success, regardless of how the world defined it and regardless of the amount of money, attention, or acceptance that it entailed? Next was the fear of the passing of time. I thought that if I just had a schedule that fit closer to societal norms, that my life would magically transform and I would just have more time. Realizing that no matter what time I got up, whether it be 5 a.m. or 3 p.m., I was awake the same amount of hours and doing the same amount of work. Time was still passing. That core fear wasn't absolved. Did this experiment help me change my schedule? Yes. Was it more convenient? Also yes, but I don't think that's where the true value of this experiment lies. During this time, I realized there was only one question that truly mattered. Am I fulfilling the purpose I was created for? Am I creating something that only I can create? If so, then I'll reach all other goals at the perfect time. And if I don't reach that goal, then it wasn't what was best for me, and it wasn't a part of God's purpose for me. And finally, the fear of time was relieved. Like I said, this experiment did not really go the way I was expecting. I expected this to be a happy-go-lucky vlog where I did a little challenge and maybe did some self-improvement in the process. But I found it far more fulfilling to interrogate and find out why I felt the need for that self-improvement in the first place. I'm glad I got to take you on this journey, and hopefully it was helpful for you to watch. Just remember, don't be so hard on yourself. Just focus on fulfilling the purpose God put you on this planet to serve, regardless of how others react to it. And you'll be exactly where you need to be at exactly the right time. Because nothing you can do is more valuable than creating something that only you can create.